What's going on, motivators? We got another video. We got to talk about people from the right leaving to join the Democrats because of Trump. Let's get into this.
Applauding MAGA stars Candace Owens and Marjorie Taylor Greene for breaking with Donald Trump and expressing their buyer's remorse.
The thing that has been very fascinating, especially about Marjorie and Candace, is that they are not just coming out like the other ones that you'd mentioned, where they're saying this action is wrong, right? They're saying, I am done with you.
Yeah, it's like a values-based. Like,
right.
This guy is bad, not like this policy is bad.
Right, and I think that we should give them credit for that.
And it's not.
Wow. It's like you have the Democrats inviting Republicans in. I understand one thing about having a disagreement with the president, but we know the values of what Democrats are pushing out. Why would you ever join those values if you know it's not good for America to begin with? You could not side with somebody, be independent if anything. But to join the Democrat Party, to say that Trump is worse than the Democrat Party, I don't think so.
Just Ilhan Omar opening her arms. Here is the message Pete Buttigieg has for liberals when it comes to MAGA defectors.
When we encounter somebody who has been along for the ride with so many things that we consider to be grotesque abuses, because they are, when they start having doubts, think about how hard that is. I mean, we all know how hard it is to change your mind. Many of us have spouses who remind us how important it is to change your mind and say so when you were wrong about something, and it is one of the hardest things in the world. So if somebody is ready to take that step and at least talk to us and maybe do something differently, the message cannot be, I told you so. The message has to be, welcome aboard. What else can we do together?
So Ilhan Omar.
This is very interesting. Welcome aboard. What can we do together? Yes, we got to be able to talk to the other side. It makes no sense to be in your own little group, right? Whether it be left or right. You got to be able to bridge those gaps and find common ground. But at the same time, I don't see why would you move from the right to go to the left, and you know the left and the entire approach is propaganda and things that will not be good for the United States. There may be some things, some ideas that may be good, but majority of it is not. And to have this frame of thought, of this mindset, and to revert back to that, I don't understand it.
Those conversations that they're talking about remind me of is my own evolution as an activist. In terms of when I was in college, I didn't go to college to just be surrounded by a bunch of liberals necessarily. I know that's hard for you guys to believe, but it's true. That's why I joined the shooting club when I was in college. And as you can imagine, Scott, I was not very popular there. But it's important to talk to people who disagree with us, because ultimately, even though we're Democrats and Republicans, we have to find what little overlap there is that we can move forward on. And look, we can speculate all we want on her intentions and why she's doing this ultimately. But from my perspective, I'm willing to take that first step and have that conversation with her. And I would challenge her to this too. If she wants to come on your show and talk.
I mean, to me, I would think it would be an evolution where little by little you move, whether it be to the center and move to the left or the right. But that drastic move, Marjorie Taylor Greene just moved straight because Trump didn't back her in her seat for Georgia, her House seat for Georgia, and she just moved. And all of a sudden now she wants to become a Democrat. Doesn't make sense.
To me directly about why she's changed her mind, I'm happy to do that and have that conversation. And I would challenge her to do that and prove to us why she actually is authentic and changing, and that this is not just another opportunistic political opportunity like it was when she chased me after the shooting at my high school. But I'm willing to give her a small chance to have that conversation. But it's important to note too, this is not just a Marjorie Taylor Greene phenomenon. Yeah. We're seeing Tucker Carlson. We're seeing people across the board defect increasingly from Trump.
Okay.
What do all those people have in? What do all those people have in common, by the way?
Trump.
What is it they all have in common?
Ago and now he doesn't.
When I hear Ilhan Omar, you know what I hear? How do you do, fellow anti-Semites? That's what I hear.
Yeah, that's what's about
Israel.
In the room.
Not this so is about.
Fast.
There is a thread here, and it's so transparently obvious. And I'll be honest. I think what she did to you is abhorrent. She was a clown then. She's a clown now. This entire thing for her is political. Trump didn't want to back her in a statewide race in Georgia, and she's a conspiracy theorist then, and she's a conspiracy theorist now.
My point exactly. There was no backing for the sit in Georgia, and automatically you turn. Again, my thing is you could not like Trump as the person to lead the Republican Party and what it stands for, being conservative. It doesn't make sense to leave all those values to move back to a Democrat, which you know is the opposite. Socialism.
I would caution you.
Just one
I would
second.
caution you.
I don't think Joe Rogan is. I don't think Joe Rogan's an anti-Semite. I don't think Andrew Schultz is an anti-Semite. I don't think Eric Erickson is an anti-Semite.
No.
I think there's a lot of people around the country whose names we don't know who were
We're
very
talking about
supportive.
Marjorie Taylor Greene,
No, but
Tucker Carlson.
You're saying
But hold on, just
other
one
people.
but
You're
just one
saying,
second.
what do
And
all of
even-
them have in common?
Even if you say that the only thing that is important about those three individuals in particular is that they're anti-Semitic, what does it say about the president that he was totally fine with them 6 months ago?
Well, and they were totally fine with him.
What does it
Look,
say?
look, he attracted a lot of people, and some of the people that he attracted, like that have those views, I completely and totally disagree with. And he has been quite clear about his views on these issues. They're not in it
He
anymore.
spoke on the phone with Tucker Carlson about 6.
You got to remember, too, a lot of those people were liberals, right? A lot of those people were independent. And those people were not on the MAGA train back in 2016 or 20. They evolved into the lesser of both evils, Kamala Harris versus Trump. And they picked Trump because they didn't like what Kamala Harris was going to offer. And the independents, a lot of them came because of JF Kennedy Jr. So all of this was, they weren't truly into the idea of backing Trump. They just liked what he was offering because they saw the other one was far worse and would bring America down. So those people don't really like Trump per se. They like the policy. So when Trump says something which they're not used to and they didn't like back in 2006 and then back in 2020, guess what it did? They're reverting back to their same selves.
Weeks ago.
What did he say? What did he say? What did he say about him last week?
But why? I mean, look, you're arguing to me that they are repulsive people who are anti-Semitic. The president of the United States is on the phone with them, and
he disavowed them last week.
I'm just saying.
There's people, Abby, that you're talking
But
about.
let's go back to what Dave.
My point exactly. A lot of those people came in after the fact. Were they on the Trump train when it first started? No. Were they on the MAGA train when it first started? No. They came in after the fact, right? They're kind of like several bus riders. They're in and they're out. They were never in there in the very beginning, like people who were firm. All the people who were firm, guess where they're at? They're still there.
Davidson, because I think it's important. I mean, is there a way to work with a Marjorie Taylor Greene, or I mean, Candace Owens?
Marjorie Taylor
Candace Owens,
Greene.
really? Is that really what Democrats are going to be doing?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and others are responsible for creating the personality that we are dealing with in the White House today and all of the issues that come.
No one was responsible for Donald Trump. Donald Trump's been Donald Trump, and he has not changed yet. From 2016 till now, he is the same person that he is. Everybody's evolving around him, but he's still the same. From my perspective, at least, I haven't seen him change yet. Now, you could say that he said some absurdities, some outlandish stuff. That is still the same Donald Trump from back in 2016, who told Megyn Kelly she got blood coming out of her eyes and all of that stuff, right? So it's never the different Donald Trump. It's still the same Donald Trump. The people who come around his circle are the ones who are changing or evolving into something else because they expect something different.
Along. I believe the best indicator of future performance is to look at past performance. Marjorie Taylor Greene hasn't had any great Jesus moment. We've been talking a lot about him. Let me bring him to the table. She hasn't had some great Jesus moment. This is all about her. What attention would Marjorie Taylor Greene be getting today if she had not turned so fully against the president? I'm not a believer. Now,
Now, here's the thing. You got Democrats having smug looks on their faces now. It's kind of like the chicken is coming home to roost. It's not coming home to roost. Again, this is just one faction of the Republican Party. Conservative, MAGA. Some of those people, like I said, did they truly had a belief of liking Trump? No. They were only there for the ride. And when the ride is no longer like, smooth from their perspective, they're moving on. Anyway, let me know what you think. All right, motivators, if you enjoy what you've seen and heard, please like, comment, subscribe, and share a Black veteran's perspective. Stay motivated.